Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Low Five Gaming. Luke and I got a interesting episode for you in the sense that I'm pulling a straight Kanye, and I'm going to put this recording out there raw, ready for the audience. And you're going to get a little behind the curtain peek of what this shit sounds like before we edit. Probably a lot of nasty burps, a lot of weird clicks from Luke, a lot of other weird noises
It's
that
gonna
I
be a
have to
lot of
scrub out.
burps. Yeah. You're getting the raw dog, pure uncut, pun intended experience from us, dude. So
You're raw dog and low five today. But I tell you what, if you listen to this about 4 or 5 days after we publish, maybe a little less than that, you'll have a nice clean polished version. And that's just the way it's going to be. Because like I said, I'm going to pull a Kanye and I'm going to edit it and put a new file out there once I'm ready.
You won't know any of that. You're gonna fix wolves. All right, cool. Well, hell yeah, dude. Well, this is a double throwback and double raw dog because
before we get too heavy in there, I mean, I do want to make I do want to make this easy on myself when I do polish this shit up. And that's your little intro. So if this is if you're new to the pod, I apologize for I don't really apologize. This is what it is.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
But welcome.
There's a better
Thanks for being
version
here.
but this is our hazy IPA.
Indeed. Dank.
Yeah. It's a very dank episode
nonetheless
this week. Yes.
Let's kick it in, man. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Low Five Gaming. I'm here with my brother, Luke.
What up, Luke? Hey, man. How you doing?
Oh, I got my soup coat on. I got my, what do you call those things? My service weapon. And I'm ready to go into the oldest building, whatever we're going to call that thing.
I would go along.
Take care of business.
I would go along with a bit, but the only way for me to truly do that is to be confused like I was when I was playing and be like, yeah, sure, no doubt. Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Authentic.
So those who played Control, they might have picked up on a couple things there. Probably not. Those are some pretty silly little deals. But here's the deal: we played Control, dude. Not only did we play this game, we finished the game. We rolled credits.
Yes, we did. And I would also like to say this is a throwback to some of our original pods where pre-children, Alex and I would basically just have a little brother date. And we'd say to our wives that we were potting. And before we even potted, we'd have a full extravagant lunch and 2 beers. And we would burp into the microphones and be like, oh, man, oh, geez, get that out in editing. And I had a Philly cheesesteak before this, so I'm really bringing it back to our roots.
Oh, man,
just be a sleepy, burpy piece of shit. So
good for you, dude. Philly cheese, I feel like Philly cheesesteak is it's a sandwich that I love in theory, and every time I've had one, I don't know if I had a really good one once, and I'm just chasing the dragon now. But every time I get one, I'm disappointed.
Well, we're not at our unsanctioned sponsor, and maybe we will get there, and maybe I will have this be at Uno's teasers / flirts. I don't even know. But I like Tono's, and I think the thing is mostly just that a Philly cheesesteak is going to make you feel like a big old pile of shit. So even if it's really, really dank and really, really awesome, it's a lot of grease and cheese. So maybe good for you that you're not chasing a good one. You just probably used to be able to handle awful food as a young man a little bit better.
I think you're right on that.
Because we used to do that as brothers back in all the way to the day. So yes,
takes a side, dog.
Yeah, no, I just had to bring that up.
Yeah, fair. You got. I probably won't edit all the burps, dude. They're probably gonna be too many.
No, keep a few in, just for authenticity purposes.
I can dig it. And I can dig this game, dude, in a weird way. I don't know.
You're into Scandinavians, 70s, modern retro, sci-fi, Jedi shooters, dude? That's your vibe?
Yeah.
Because those are all adjectives that sort of kind of explain this game. That wasn't too off the cuff. That was pretty accurate.
That kind of hits it, bro.
Yeah.
But this game, just to get into some of the details, it's Remedy Entertainment. So those are the folks that would have brought us Max Payne back in the day. Alan Wake stands. They're gonna know Remedy. Control is considered to be one of their top tier games, though, and I can see it, dude. I have some qualms that we can get to a little later on. And beyond Max Payne 1 and 2, I haven't really dabbled. Oh, that's not fair. I have played a little bit of Alan Wake, but only honestly a half hour. And it seems cool, but I'm not a huge Remedy stan. But I could be. I feel like I'm right on the they could sell me. They could sell me.
I think they're cool because they're like a high-end AA studio or like a more indie rock AAA studio. So I think they're pretty fucking rad, making their own IP and kind of trying to flesh out their own universe. So,
It is
you
cool.
know, you
And
hear
this
a
game
lot
came
about
out.
them in the gamer space, so they're
You
cool.
do indeed. And
Mhm.
this game's not too old. It came out on August 27th of 2019.
Oh,
Roughly
word.
5 years, right? So
Yeah.
it's on pretty much everything you can get your hands on now. So it's PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC, Switch. No, oh, it's on Switch, but it's via the cloud, Switch Cloud. So you can't like have that downloaded to your Switch, but you can play it via the Switch Cloud, which is kind of interesting. You
Mm,
play any of the cloud games? I think Hitman is that way on the Switch. I don't fuck with any of them like that. I got different
no.
systems to play them,
My Switch
but
is just
if you
my
just have a
Nintendo
Switch, like
fetish
that's
machine.
yeah, fair.
You know.
It was also on Stadia, RIP.
Oh, word.
But
I'm
this is
surprised you haven't collected one of those yet, just for shits and
nah.
giggies.
I
But
wanted one because I was kind of a Google. I'm a little bit of a Google stan too, I guess. But like, in the sense that I'm just like in their ecosystem, and I'm too deep in now. Team Android as the folks last month.
sure,
but
sure.
so Stadia was it seemed really cool. And I
We
think
don't
in
need to
theory,
talk
like,
about Stadia right now. We can go back to the game.
yeah. I wanted one. I never threw down on it, and then it quickly became a thing that I didn't need to get.
I hated it and relished its destruction. So
Yeah, fair
moving
enough.
forward.
But Control, though, an action
Yes,
adventure
sir.
game, paranormal thriller.
Yeah, paranormal sci-fi, kind of spooky sci-fi.
And to kind of set the stage, here's what Remedy has to say. After a secretive agency in New York is invaded by an otherworldly threat, you become the new director struggling to regain control. This supernatural third person action adventure game will challenge you to master a combination of supernatural abilities, modifiable loadouts, and reactive environments while fighting through a deep and unpredictable world.
Yep, it's a cool thematic linear semi-open world game,
Yeah,
for some extra dense jargon, but that actually I feel like is
that's true.
less
All true.
flowery than theirs and more to the point. The action slaps. It's really cool. I like to break the environment and throw stuff. Not too many games do a bunch of breakable environment in the futures. I thought in the past that we'd have a bunch of destructible environments in the futures, and this is one of the better payouts on that fantasy.
It's nice, dude. The I will say the physics engine in this game is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Except for when I'm levitating and I'm scared and I'm like moving around and not being good at the game, then it's not cool. But
That's because
like,
your hands are so sweaty, bro.
yep, and shaky,
Yeah.
and just generally scared.
But you're playing as Jesse Faden is the name of the main character. That's your character, third person, and the game starts off. You kind of walk into this. They call it the Federal Bureau of Control. It's like has strong FBI vibes, but it's like the oldest house. I don't know. I was reading some lore about this shit, and this might be because this is a lore heavy game in the sense that you can like. Did you collect a bunch of the stuff, the collectibles, like in the sense that there's just like files everywhere you can pick up?
For my lizard brain, and I
Yeah.
understood that there's like probably individual script written on all of these for like the densest lore dump ever, which is super sick. But
Yes,
I haven't even seen like a YouTube explainer on there, but I'm sure there's a whole world within a world there, dude.
I would assume you are correct. And it's like fun. Like it's one of those things where I quickly like lose interest in reading like that type of thing in games. I love that it's there, and I know some people like eat it up, dude. I got a homie that reads every single Skyrim book, that's wild to me.
Fuck yeah.
But,
well,
cool.
I think it's cool in the era of everything being metaverse and licensed IP that they've just kind of created their own world, and that it does lend its sense to maybe not believability, but immersion is the better word for it.
Sure.
And it's got like, it's immediately a very trippy experience. Like the oldest house, to put it very mildly, is like a shifting place. It's almost like Doctor Strange-esque type ship where like you can only find it if it wants you to find it.
Right.
And you know where it is. And then, the dimensions don't make any sense, and all sorts of awesome trippy stuff happens in there, which is a very big understatement, but I can't even try to describe it because,
For those that haven't played this game and are trying to like conceptualize a little bit, it has Stranger Thing vibes to it, like the occult like sci-fi-ness has some like nice
Yeah.
little Stranger Thing going. But then, of course, you'd have to see that. But that's a pretty big cultural phenomenon. So I feel like a lot of people see that.
I feel like it's more 70s to 60s than 80s, but we're just
Oh, geez,
nitpicking now. I
semantics
know,
now. Get the
I
fuck out of
know, I know. But there's not like cell phones and stuff. There's like all this old tech, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like the bell ringing phone and projector slides and all sorts of shit, where I guess a lot of that's 80s too, but you get my fucking point.
yeah. I don't think we've dropped the word yet, but this game does have. You still got a drink in your hand? You ready to have a sip, dude? Metroidvania
Yeah, I'll take a
elements.
sip of my ginger love, but
It has Metroidvania elements for sure, but it's not linear. You mentioned it earlier that it's like open world esque because you do have the opportunity to kind of explore this building and have things open up, and as you get your different abilities and whatnot, you get to go to get back to areas, and that's kind of the
dog, there's
Metroidvania bit.
literally a chapter
Mm-hmm.
structure. It's as linear
Yep.
as it gets. It's linear or semi-open world. It's just a
Right.
little bit of extra side stuff is always opened up for you, but it's super linear. Don't say it's not linear, dude.
I already I led with saying it was linear, bro. But
Whatever.
it's not like Mario linear. Get out of here.
I mean, it kind of is not like Super Mario Bros, but it's like
That's what I'm
Mario,
talking about.
fucking
Uh,
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 Mario Odyssey
yeah,
linear,
which is no
or
longer linear.
or
It's
like
open world.
it's semi-open world linear,
It's
dog. Like I said from the
found.
beginning, Odyssey or Wonder or like Super Mario 64. Like it's you get extra areas to explore, but you're following a chapter system and a path. So anyway,
Is Ginger Jedi? Is that a Metrovania?
yeah, because you're revisiting a lot of the same places and
Dude, you
opening
revisit the same places here too. You go back to different rooms all the time. How much side quests did you
some when I was feeling weak and needed to overpower myself a
do?
little bit, but not
I
a
think that
ton.
okay. So I kind of baited you because we like to argue about Metroidvanias a little bit.
Sure. I felt like I wasn't ready for a debate, and I feel taken advantage of,
So
especially because we're going raw right now. So I was like, you bitch.
raw dog in the pie. But I will give you this, dude. If you're mainlining the main story, like if you just like boom, then it is going to feel a lot more linear of a game because you're plowing through like that what they want you to do, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there's so much side stuff you can do in this, and you can do it to like you bring up to increase your character's loadout, to increase like her skills and stuff. But it's that stuff that becomes Metroidvania. A good example would be like, did you do the what's the what is that stuff called, dude? You had to go collect the
Getting the
samples.
other objects of power, because
Yeah, all the other objects of power.
that was an absolute no. I was like, no
Oh,
thanks.
okay. See, there's some good boss fights in those, and
The ones that kick my ass and take forever, yeah, dude.
indeed.
That's why I said absolutely not.
No, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. But
Yeah.
like a lot of those are like for a good. There's certain areas you can't get to unless you have a certain power. Then you can go back and you can progress further. That type of thing. Did you collect the samples like the it's escaping me right now. They're like the little like the bacteria sample type things or whatever they were. You do that
Did
part?
it once. You have to like destroy the things or whatever.
No, I think they're thinking about different spots. There's like a
It's
weird
just side
doctor that's
questy
like,
stuff.
dude, totally. But
Yeah.
that has a good boss at the end too. But nonetheless, so Jessie, your main character, she's there because she's going to collect her brother Dylan.
Right. Got to find Dylan. She's always talking in this stressed out. I have a voice inside my head going, why?
Dude.
Why am I here? Is
Yes.
Dylan in here? Have I always been in here?
Dude, you bring up the voice in the head thing, which ends up having a name later on. Like they give a name to it.
Polaris, I believe.
Polaris,
yeah.
Which like the main is it Dr. Darling or something like that? I think he's the main researcher or something.
Sure.
He's got a different name for it. You end up the spoilers, I guess, so we won't hit that right now. But
This is
The
all so opaque, dog. I couldn't
dude,
spoil this game for you if I fucking tried.
I know. So that's kind of what I was gonna get at, dude. Is like this. It's so like you start to figure things out as time goes. Like 30 hours into this game, you're like, okay, maybe I understand what's going on, but do you really know? It is wild, dude.
It's wild. It's intentionally wild. It's cool that it's wild. It's cool that it could be up for interpretation. I'm sure there's a correct version of events, and I'd rather live in my foggy brain of just like I liked to throw things at other things and use my fucking powers in my little shifty shape shifting gun thing. And
Dude,
this
the
game
service
has
weapon
really
is
cool,
cool.
yeah. And I just
And
the lore serves those who are really into it in a good way, but
mhm,
it's like not approachable. It's very it's very dense
dude, it's
and
interesting.
trippy.
Like I don't think either of us play a lot of horror games. I know that we played a couple horror Game Boy games, but like, dude, like come on, like
Right.
you're not gonna
This
get super
yeah.
scared from a Game Boy game. This game is not scary in the sense that like it's not straight up horror genre, but this is about as close as I get to playing a horror game. Like it creeps
Yeah,
me the
well,
hell out.
paranormal thrillers, so
Yeah,
like those are tugging at your mental state a tiny bit and you're like, "Oh man, this is a little stressful." It's not
dude.
like too spooky, but it's a little spooky.
So we haven't mentioned the hiss yet. So the hiss is what they give the name to. Like basically, there's some paranormal entity is corrupting the folks in the building.
Interdimensional corruption,
Right,
like zombie force. Yeah, something
dude,
like that.
totally.
Yeah,
But they call it the hiss, and it's fun, dude. It's
it's a little snappier than what I said.
yeah, yeah. But it's like I don't know. It's cool. It's cool taking on the hiss, man. Like they're basically like you said, like zombie or like they've taken over the brains of the different like
It's like
soldiers and stuff that are in the
parasitical. It's like
building.
interdimensional parasitical.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's enough.
But it's what I really like about this game, and you do a lot of fighting. So like we've kind of teased the fact that semi-open world, there's exploration going on. Uh, pretty linear, but you have like some options to go like do some exploring as you will. But dude, there's something that I really like about it is the combat,
Yeah,
which you
it's very
don't get
smooth.
this. You don't get the same combat that you get in Control in other games like this that are hitting some of those other elements, in my opinion. And there's a lot of games out there, so I'm sure someone could come in and be like, oh, dude, what about this
Yeah, right.
game?
Sure.
but
If I
for
had one
me,
ready, I would be that guy just to be
yeah.
a dick about it.
That's what's up. But
Yeah,
but the control's fast, dude. It's fucking quick. It's fast. It's like, dude, you're not sneaking around in this game, dude. This is not Metal Gear.
No, you're definitely if you have composure, it's a lot smoother than when I play it. I'm just like a frantic little fucking worrywart who's like hiding behind walls, like, oh Lord, but you just gotta constantly be moving. And it's very gratifying physics-based combat. I mean, it has like the third-person shooter elements.
Yep.
You cycle between your weapon, which is like a pistol to shotgun pistol to like automatic, and then like a sniper. And it's not perfect that way, as far as those things all work a little. Like the sniper has like a charge, and like you know what I mean.
You ever get the grenade launcher?
That you were telling me last night that's like you get that after you beat it, yeah.
No, dude, it's just like you just you're just not powerful enough. No, it's just
don't you start with me, dude. Don't you fucking start with me.
It's you can unlock it just like all the other guns. Like as you upgrade your character, you can buy like with their little point things that you like collect or whatever. You can just like all the other guns, you unlock it.
Was
it's
there
not
like
a
blueprints
thing.
somewhere? Because I didn't even know where to find that. Maybe it was one of the side bosses that you talked about, like the extra objects of power.
It could
be
that.
As much as we can't explain the lore too well, what I can explain, which is kind of cool, part of their sci-fi paranormal is these objects of power are almost like these corrupted or everyday items that have these paranormal interdimensional power or strength to them. And it's like, in the Metroidvania sense you were talking about, it's how you get your next power up usually. But as far as the lore, it's always like super trippy and cool. How about that guy staring at that fridge? That was a bummer, huh?
I didn't do that one this time. So I've actually played this game twice now, not to completion. This is the first time I completed it. More on that later. But the first time I played, I probably put in like, I don't know, 15 hours, maybe a little less. and I got up to, and I think I maybe did that one, but I skipped that in this playthrough. The dude's staring at the fridge. Did you complete that?
Yeah, you don't save the guy,
Oh
which is
yeah,
a
okay.
bummer. But you stop the object of power.
Okay.
He was being like, yeah, I don't know. I won't spoil that. It's part of
So
the
there's
spookiness,
so
or I
the
guess
speaking
just
of spookiness,
stressfulness.
dude, like totally. So I think a really interesting thing about this game, we've talked about all the collecting. You like collect different files that you can read. You collect different media throughout. So it might be recorded tapes. You also run into all these different. There's like the main projector is like one of the object of powers later on in the game, but there's these projectors, or even sometimes it's a monitor or TV where you get to see these recordings, visual recordings. From it might be from Dr. Darling, it might be from somebody else, and I think those are really interesting, and they play into some of the creepiness. Like I can't remember what they're called right now, but there's like these
Dude,
these puppet shows.
is he actually recorded? Like that's a human acting, right? That's not the
Yeah.
graphics.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God. I was like, I thought I knew that and felt that to be sure, but it adds to the layer of surrealness and coolness.
Right.
But I know.
So that's what I was kind of driving at. I think that's what was really cool about this game, because it's like it's actually a pretty beautiful like video game. Like they did a great job with
even
the
on the Steam Deck. It's quite impressive.
And I'm playing on my PC, which is pretty beefy. And it looks real good, dude. But like the thing is, you go from your computer graphics to these, like sometimes they'll have little cutscenes where there's like an actor that plays Jesse and stuff too, where you have like some weird like
by
really
cutscenes, he means like you're about half to a foot and a half away from her temple, and she's going, what? These people seem to know my name.
yeah. So I mean, like that stuff, or they're like Polaris will be doing some weird thing, but I
creepy
don't know, like,
fucking Dylan's face, like Jesus Christ,
dude. Yeah, so
tired of looking at him.
So Dylan, often those would be like in these cutscenes. You're right, is like a little too like that invokes like an idea of like watching like a 30-second clip. Like there'll be quick flashes of like video or whatever that pull you in. It kind of adds this layer of making it like feel real almost.
We're talking about they have both. They do have some dedicated cutscenes, but they have a lot of like pseudo optional cutscenes where like you'll watch the TVs and like it'll draw in further, and it's very intentionally placed at these like dramatic moments in the game. It's cool storytelling. So I get what you're trying to say there,
dude. So the
immersive story, like environmental storytelling combined with like a different visual thing. Yeah, it's cool.
It's interesting too, like on that, like the whole storytelling is super immersive, because there's things that you can turn on a video and just walk away from it if you're not interested in seeing the rest. Or even like to progress the storyline and everything, like you can just skip all the dialogue if you're just like whatever. Let's just keep trucking through, which I am like, unfortunately, I don't know, but like I did that a couple times when I was just like ready to move on.
Well, the game is intense, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for that shit. Like you are like all stressed out about a big old fight, and then there's an environmental puzzle, and you're like, my brain does not want this right now.
I would say that's like the thing about this game, and the balance is maybe a little bit off, and we should probably talk a little bit about that, dude. Like because we took a long. This game should. I mean, if you're just plowing through this game, it should probably take you, like the internet says, it takes about 20 hours, something like that. I'm not really sure how long.
This game in a weekend,
totally. Totally.
If you wanted, and you knew what you were doing,
right. And it took us 3 months, Doug, to roll credits.
It's a record.
But it's not because we were playing every day. It's because the game itself, even though at the head of the pod, I said I like this game. I do like this game, but I also just never got hooked to it. Even at the end, I was like, I'm just like happy to be done. I was like, that was cool. That was like a really cool story. I love the gameplay. I love the fighting, like creepy, like fun. But like never once was I was like, it never ever once was like, I need to go to the next mission. I need to do the next thing.
I don't have a critique, a major critique of the game. If I had to objectively review the game, I would give it a very high score. I would recommend it to very many different gamers. But I wanted to play NCAA football most of the time. I had to talk myself into playing and sit down to play, and then I would enjoy it. And then thankfully I was playing on the Steam Deck, so the Steam Deck would die because this is an intense game after like an hour and a half. And I was like, that's actually the best way to play this game is in 12 to 15 1-hour chunks.
Dude, I agree. Like, because
Yeah.
the thing is, I would play every time I did pick it up, I would have a good ass time. It's a good game. It's like fun. Got my adrenaline going. I like like I said, I like the combat. The environment is cool. Like everything. Like even the story. Like it's interesting. There's
It's
not enough to
intriguing
like.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's and so I didn't want to know what happened, but it doesn't. And this is something that I was digging around the internet a little bit, and like that is a lot of folks agree that it doesn't have that addictiveness. It doesn't have the like I want to do the next thing to it, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. But
Yeah. Whenever I'd get to like a cleanse point, I was like so relieved that I could be done, even though there's other save points. Sometimes the save points could be a little wonky. That is a sort of critique.
that's my biggest qualm with the game is the save points. Like, so you bring up cleanse points, which is like your. I don't
So
even know why I use this as an example because I've never played the Souls games, but it's your like fire pit.
I guess. But like unlike that, you get your progress is like saved. So it's like merciful. Like some of
Yeah.
them, yeah. So it can be merciful, but also it can just be like you can turn off the game thinking that you'll get those same checkpoints, and then when you reboot, it'll reboot you to one of those. I was like, okay, that's not quite how I thought it would be, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Um, what was your
I
favorite
do wish,
gun?
dude. So there's
Because the
actually,
combat does shine in this game, and then I'm gonna ask you your physical power favorite kind of
yeah,
playstyle thing
fair enough.
next. But what's your
So
gun?
service weapon. So there's only one gun, bro. But
Sure,
it's
fair. Kind of described that earlier
so
with
it's a
your
service weapon.
shapeshifty pistol. Yeah,
Right, right. So the service weapon, though, my favorite by far would be the shatter.
that's a shotgunny boy, right?
Yes,
Are you historically a big shotgun boy as well when it comes to
I
video
am.
games? Yeah, me
I
too.
I fuck with the
Yeah,
shotgun for sure.
big shotgun guy. I remember
Mhm.
a buddy of mine. We're talking LAN party Halo life. I was like, "Wow, Stahl, you really head for that shotgun every time. You're like okay with it." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." He's like, "You're really into it." And then I realized that he was kind of like, "I'm gonna beat you every time we ever play, but I'm glad you enjoy playing with your little shotgun, bud."
Yeah, dude. I like back in
Just
the Halo days, dude. Like a sniper, I would be there'd be a sniper or a shotgun. Two very different types of gameplay, but like, yeah,
yeah, I was just making fun of how
yeah,
I'm not going to be
no.
good, but I'm going to enjoy myself. That's how I am with shooty games. So
Dude,
I'm
that's what's up
also
though. Like you never played Doom, have you? Like any of the Dooms, or have you?
I've played like a half an hour of the original. But
Okay,
no, but like the
yeah,
reboot, especially, I should.
they're
A little
nice. We might
boomer
do it on the
shooter.
pod one of these days. Like
Yeah,
as far as like shooters go, like it's a lot of it's a good first person shooter. Like it's nice, but
yeah.
shotguns, dude. That's what's up.
But in this game, third person, and also don't have the perfect controls of the Steam Deck. It's really cool. The Steam
Oh,
Deck
okay,
could
yeah,
run it. The Steam Deck ran it pretty dang good.
yep.
But sometimes I found an extra spike of difficulty. Wow, that was the burp that I was trying to mask combined with. So we're old school again. An extra spike of difficulty due to being on the Steam Deck. So the
You use your
shotgun kind of
trackpads at
helped
all
out
for
with that.
anything?
Nah, that's too
That's all right. Yeah,
fine tuned for like
for
this. You know what
sure.
I mean? Like it's too
Yeah.
twitchy.
What about
Um,
gyro? Do you turn that on?
I think I tried when I was struggling with that like obstacle course. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That was
I remember
so
that
brutal.
course.
I like hooked
The
up a
first time I played it.
controller and like
Yeah.
that didn't actually help because the processing power of the Steam Deck was a bigger issue
Oh,
than like the actual control, like so the lag of it all. But anyway, yeah.
that obstacle course, dude. The first time I tried to play this game, I had
So
to.
long. Took so
I
long.
think I'm just better at like gaming now, I guess, because like I needed to use a keyboard and
Got
mouse
some
to beat it.
XP. You ate some rare
Yeah,
candy and you're
dude,
ready,
totally.
dude.
But the first time I tried to play this game, yeah, dude, I had to use the keyboard and mouse because I couldn't hit the targets fast enough.
Dude, it
Otherwise,
was insane. So big shotgun guy, and then the extraterrestrial abilities. You have a
well, dude,
grab
let's
and
let's hit all the weapons first though. Like I do want to hit the abilities too.
oh, okay.
Shotgun, 100%. Sounds like we're like let's hit that shotgun.
Hmm.
You didn't get it, but there's a gun called the Charge, which is basically a grenade launcher. Pretty fucking cool. I will still give it to the shotgun because or shatter the shotgun because like that's the weapon I use throughout like 90% of the
Hmm.
game.
Hmm.
Pierce is I think you brought it up, but that's your That's like
Your
your sniper.
charged sniper, yeah.
Yeah, which is like it's nice because it's super powerful. Not great in this. That's not so like it was great for back when I was collecting that bacteria, like because there's some enemies off in the distance, perfect for that type of thing. The majority of the gameplay in this, I think, is pretty chaotic, which presents itself pretty nicely to a shotgun.
Yeah, it's super specifically nice for the late game stuff though, and some
Yeah.
bosses.
Oh, okay. Yep. That makes
Like
sense.
when I was doing those fucking gauntlets at the end,
Yeah.
specifically the one with the big ball room, which is not what it sounds like, but it's this big prison ball thing that you're doing whatever to.
What you playing with in your hand, bro? It looks like a condom.
It's a scrunchie, so
there we go.
it's more like a cock ring. Family podcast. Moving forward.
Grip and spin, the two other guns. Grip is the one you start with, is basically like a pistol, and that's another like, dude, like if I'm playing
a very satisfying pistol.
It is.
It
is indeed, and that's another thing. If I'm
I was
playing
salty, I couldn't
shooting
upgrade
games,
it more. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm playing shooters, like it is always kind of fun to run around with a pistol, and it is in this one too. Spin would be the machine gun, and I thought it was dope when I first unlocked it, but after that, it's too underpowered. I think, in my opinion, maybe I didn't upgrade it well enough.
Boing! It's Ace's favorite gun in the game. He just prays and sprays all over the place as he's running around.
But like, I don't know. I just like you have to unload so heavily into even like medium tier enemies just to take them down with that thing.
Which feels good with the pistol. I feel like I missed too much with the spin, so didn't use it much. I think I used it the least. Pierce I would take out for tough enemies. The grip I would take off for like fun, and then shatter was like probably 80 to 75% of my play was shatter, dude.
And it's interesting because you get the option to load out two different guns that I think it's like X or square or whatever.
It's square on the PlayStation, which is hilarious because I played it on the Steam Deck / Xbox layout, and that just tells you how deeply ingrained some PlayStation shit is to me. But
dude, 100%
yes, it is square, and it's cool. It like flips in her hand. It's very gratifying. I know some people, there's like a niche for like loving how guns reload and stuff in games. It's charge based and like time based, but still like the way it like flips in her hand, it's tight.
So I love that there's not actual ammo in this game.
Yeah, as long as it's I don't like collecting ammo in a game like this.
No.
there's way too much shooty bang bang going on.
Unlimited ammo. You bring up the charge thing.
So bullshit if I had to worry about ammo in this game. I'd be so
100%.
stressed.
I was so pleased to know that I was so pleased that they didn't have that you didn't have to like
never even thought of that reality. That's a good call.
Yeah, it was very like I think that was key. This game with ammo would fucking suck balls.
Right. I want to talk about the powers now, Al. Come on.
Yeah, dog. And that's
talk
like,
about the powers.
Honestly,
what are we
like
doing?
Powers,
What minute of the pod is this? We haven't talked about fucking
32.
half hour in. We haven't talked about the fucking powers more. God.
Dude, and that is what this game is. I think that's what makes this game beyond like, all the environmental shit that we talked about, blah, blah, blah. Like the reason this game's dope, dude, is because you said it, you teased it earlier. You said with the Jedi shit, dude, like she pretty much just a fucking boss.
Well, it's funny because I was playing Ginger Jedi Chronicles, and then like sometimes when for the pod you play a game that's too similar, it just kills that game, and I'm like, I'm just getting my Ginger Jedi fix from Control Lady. Is she even red haired or no? No,
I think she is. Yeah.
Well, see, she's just my new Ginger Jedi for the moment. But yeah, dude, and environmentally, like, and now I'm talking about physics based, like. It's awesome, the stuff you can throw. Like, I loved getting a fire extinguisher and throwing it at an enemy and having it poof and like have a big heavy bang as it hit them. That felt really good.
Dog, you just asked me what my favorite weapons are, but like honestly, my favorite weapon was the throw. Like, that is the best.
Throwing like a couch.
As far as when you because on your skill tree, you have the option to so we should hit the your different powers. You have a shield, barely ever used it. Ever, honestly.
Same. Only when I was really confused and I was pretty much going to die, so there was not too much of a point. Yeah.
Yeah. Never use a shield. You have I guess it's like a melee attack. Never use that one.
I hated that. I would hit the wrong button
one of the first
and I'd switch weapons in front of the person.
Yeah, it's like
because I was hitting the wrong button, so I'd just run up to the enemy and I'd switch weapons and get shot at. And I was like, oh no.
You have your dash, which is pretty key.
Yeah. Good old
And then
dodge dash. Yeah.
you have your, I forget what they call it, it's like a telekinesis type thing where you can take over you can control like the enemies once they get lower health. That one's pretty cool, actually.
It's very clutch in the more overwhelming battles as well.
Yeah,
it's good strat.
And then it's like a float type thing that you get later on.
Yeah, float, levitate, whatever you want to call it.
Is that all of them?
Probably. Yeah.
I think that's it. But it doesn't really matter, dude, because throw is the tightest.
Yeah, throws the tightest, and levitate could be cool, but that's just how you accidentally lose progress being a fucking jackass.
Yeah, well, the levitate and dash are dope. Like for traversing like the landscape and everything. Like it is cool, dude. Like
and dodging attacks and stuff.
Yeah, for getting rid of.
And you can upgrade it so you can pick up when they're weak or when they're dead. You can pick them up and throw them at each other. And I was like, I fucking loved that shit.
So that's what I asked you on the skill tree, dude. I maxed out the throw ability because that one's the tightest one.
I think I got halfway. I focused mostly on
health, probably
on health, and having more of the abilities, like your magic bar. There's a different word for it, but in video game parlance, your magic bar.
Yes, word that makes sense, and that makes total sense. But for me, it did make sense because I cheated.
I wondered if you would be honest.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Which is why when you were bragging about, oh, you didn't get the charge gun, I was like, eat a dick, dog.
Dude, so this game in the options, like in the I forget what they call it. What do they call it?
Accessibility, I'm sure.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think I hit you up about it. I was like, so I wanted to roll credits on this one, dude, and I was like, this game, I just like we brought up earlier, just never I never really wanted to push through it, dude. I didn't want to give it like. And I was just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking see what's up. So in options, they have an assist mode that you can enable. And that allows you to turn on a few different things, including immortality, which is like 100% let's go. Like if I don't have to die, I'm going to be able to plow through this game. But that does change. And we talked about this in a recent podcast on these types of things. And I'm very like pro them. I rarely use them. In fact, this is like one of the first games that I was like, I'm just going to use these to beat this game. And I don't have any shame in the fact that I did. But it is one of those things where it changes your experience. So when I found out where you were in relative to the end game, and I had told you about like just turning on this shit, you good? You need to check out the boys?
No, I just townhouse shit, vibrations, and then I've been playing this spooky game, and I'm home alone in this dark house. So I just needed to make sure
of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
A copy of a copy. Dan.
Word.
Projector, landfill, the dump.
So I use
the assist mode at the dump. Why were we playing in the dump?
Yeah, why were they playing that weird ass kids?
I don't know, Swedish shit.
Yeah, dude. So I turned that shit on for like probably the last 2 hours of the game, I would say, and I plowed through it. And I did. So it's really cool though because you have immortality. You can also make it so that your stamina bar or whatever you call it, the magic bar, same thing, pretty much in this. Yeah. So you can make it so it's a scale, right? So you can make it so it uses less or more, or like regular to like less or whatever. So I turned that up quite a bit, and I churned up the health quite a bit, which didn't matter because I had an immortality. And then there's other things that you can do, like you can do like a sight lock, which I didn't turn on because that changed the gameplay too much for me. But pretty cool, and would have been maybe nice for you on the Steam Deck. So like basically like the Grand Theft Auto, like that type of deal. And then you can also do one-hit kills, which like, dude, my choke point
gun back out,
dude. So yeah, so you're right. My choke point was Salvador, and we were talking about that off mic or off Discord or whatever. And like, I was like, yeah, dude, like I got to this Salvador dude, and he's just fucking hard. And then I was like, okay,
a few times, don't you?
I don't think so, but like the main, no, I know you just fight him once.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyways, like he's a tough boss. Like we don't have to go into the details on it because I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a tough boss. And I died a couple times. I was like, okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And then when I picked it up, I was like, hey, I'm going to try out these accessibility options. And I turned on the one hit kills because I was like, they're not going to one hit kill a boss. I one hit killed the boss, and I was like, okay, that sucks.
Yeah, I
Uh,
feel you felt a little greasy.
dude. So I went back in. And I was like, all right, one hit kills, no, because that also takes away some of the fun of like, dude, I'm just gonna be like, fuck guns, but like if you're playing a gun game, it's kind of fun to unload the gun. So so
I
like,
mean, that's what we're here for.
you're right.
As far as the accessibilities, I had to dig it up. That's why I was uncouth and on my phone for a second there. Is on the Discord, I remember reading it on our little chat, but Matt chimed in. And he says that on his second or his third play for through, he quite literally like really juiced some of his stuff just so he could be OP and just fucking do his Force Awakening
Was pretty fun,
all over
dude.
the
It
place. So
like,
I see that. I see that being a fun little thing of like, I just want to rip through this and like throw everything at everyone. So
and big ups to developers for including that. Like, I think that's because, dude, like, I don't know. I just think it's like, I think that's cool. And but like I was saying, dude, like when I was like a little bit of me was like proud of you, bro. I was like, this motherfucker, he plowed through. He did it pure.
I was just so close.
Yeah, there's some tough gauntlets too. So like, I was like, shit, is he gonna do it? So
it's not the hardest game. It's just that it taps back into this weird thing that you and I seem to struggle specifically with, where we enjoyed it, but we had to like talk ourselves into playing it. It was like a workout.
dude, that we're not alone on this in this game though. I looked at it, like I was digging around the internet, and there's like this is like a thing with this game. It just doesn't have a hooks.
Whilst being so good, which is very confusing. But yeah, like if I were like in more of a flow state, I think a lot of these things would be better or easier for me. Or if it's just I was more fluid in general because I was playing more frequently. But I always played infrequently, and whenever I died, it was like extra frustrating because I was just like, I don't really want to push through right now. But then when I did, it felt really cool. Like that boss you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was even the first boss. The first boss, I was like just plowing through the game. And then that boss like was all of a sudden way harder than everything else. I was like, oh, I don't feel like I was ready for the level of strategy I have to implement in this situation because I'm just so used to trucking and being a fucking brute. So yeah, cool. It's also cool set piece bosses though. I mean, they're cool. Yeah, little challenges.
Dude, they are. And like that's just the thing about like video games are really interesting in that sense. So it's like I appreciate that they had those accessibility options and like allowed me to do that because it allowed me to get to end game because I probably would have just shelved this game again. And then I was like, that allowed me to like do what I wanted to do with the game. But you don't get that same like the reason that the developers make it the way they do is because it feels really good to take down those bosses. Or when you finish like what we've been calling gauntlets because they're like they're not like boss rushes, but they're like enemy rushes that you have to go through.
Yeah, you're doing waves, and it's very clearly like a moment.
Oof, that was rough.
My lip dick microphone dropped. I tried to do a mild adjustment, and it just fell out of my pants. Yeah, that was.
Oh, sorry to all those folks that are getting the raw download.
Yeah. Oh, did it sound awful? It doesn't sound awful on my end, so
it'll sound bad for folks, but that's the magic of editing. I'll clip that out for folks if they listen to this later.
Tight.
Yeah. Excuse me. Anyways, but yeah, dude, I think there's one thing I want to spoil because I want to talk about it, but let's first give our little let's give a how many psych visits out of 5 this game is. Like that's our scale. and then who would you recommend it to? Which we teased a little bit already, but I want to know your rating out of 5 psych visits. And then I want to know who you think should play it.
Giving it 4 to 4.5 out of 5. But I would caveat it to everyone and just simply say that it's really cool and it's a really cool story and really dense and the physics are really cool, but wait for it to be on like a sale for you because I can't promise you'll get those hooks we talked about. So I can promise that you'd probably get 5 to 10 hours in it because it's like addictive enough for that. But the 10 to 20 hour push is harder than some other games. And that's kind of bore out through your first playthrough. You probably got 5 to 10 hours in and then quit.
But, a little bit more than that, but
yeah. But especially if you have like an impressive piece of hardware to play it on, I'm sure the game gets even cooler and cooler.
100%. So I would give it 3, dude. And I'm giving it 3
Oh,
because this is my
harsh.
second playthrough. This is my first time playing all the way through, but I've tried to do it back roughly 2019, like not too far after it dropped, because this was on Game Pass. So I played it on Game Pass. I have an NVIDIA 3080, which is now dated, not really dated, but it's older now.
Mm.
And I wanted to push the limits of what it could do. This was one of the games that was relatively new and was on, like, when you look like what are the top graphic games that you can play, and they're like play control. And it's because it has ray tracing in, which you didn't really get probably in take advantage of with the Steam Deck. But the ray tracing, just like the shadows and the environment, like it's awesome, dude. It's beautiful. Like this game is like looks great. Beautiful is a weird word because it's creepy, but this game is like, it's stunning, visually stunning. And it is like, you actually brought this up, not on this pod, but like when we've been talking about this game, you're like, this is like a crazy advanced tech demo. And I feel that too. Like I do think that, like, if you have a beefy system, or if you have, like, PS5 or a Xbox Series S or X or whatever, this game is gonna look really good. If you want to play like a game that looks really good, like this game is it. If you also are just like want to do some fast combat, like fun, like this game is that. Like I do think folks should play this game, but I am a little harsh on it's not like, I mean, 3's middle of the road, dude. That's not like a terrible rating. It's just that, like, I never wanted to finish this game, and I wouldn't have if we weren't doing it for the podcast.
If you enjoy huffing the vapors of your Steam Deck, this game's perfect to play it on there too. Just had to throw that one in there. But I didn't want to break off your moment there, but I really had to get that dumb joke out.
I love smelling my steamy D.
Yeah, well, but it's like, it's not, so we talked about. And this
well, you play, dude. You're crazy. We talked about this on the pod too, and like, you don't even play with headphones, dude. You're a wild man. Like, it's just like on your Steam Deck, regular speakers, like, and you still got creeped out and stuff. That's a testament to this game. Because I'm wearing like my cans. I'm wearing some like Sony, whatever the blah blah blahs, and I'm like playing on a fucking NVIDIA 3080. Like I said, like this game looks, and I'm in a dark office or whatever. I'll like close the door, like, I don't come in and scare the shit out of me. I'll be like, dude, like this game has got vibes, and I'm not talking like fun. I'm talking like the creepy vibes, dude. Like.
Well, it gets boosted up to the 4 out of 5 for me, specifically because the conversation that we had around Disco Elysium, where it wasn't always the easiest or the most fun to play in the moment, but it just made me keep thinking about it afterwards. Like, the impact of this game, I feel like, is larger than a 3 out of 5, but that's your scale, and it's fine. It's all subjective. I just feel like all
average amount, it gets a 4 then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just think about it. Not at that same level. Disco Elysium's obviously like a masterpiece.
I'd tier that higher for sure.
For sure.
Like,
the point I'm making is it's a junior version of that process where, like, I've played similar enjoyment games, but I didn't think about them. Where this game, I'll like kind of remember the experience more than some others. So I think it's pretty gnar.
I'm glad to have had the experience. I just like I said, dude, this is like, I tried back in 2019 or whatever to play, and I just like let it go. And then I was ready to let it go this time around. And then I was like,
Control
no.
2 came out, I would play it 4 years after it came out.
Okay, so, but here's the deal too. So I mentioned I got this on Game Pass the first time I tried playing. And then over time, over the past like few years, I picked it up. Like, I have it on Epic and I have it on GOG, both for free. So if you just like keep your eye out, you'll be able to pick this game up for free. Like, I do think you should support developers, so like buy this game. But hey, mine was like, if you could play for free,
Ace, and I don't even think it was for. I don't even think it was for a holiday. I think he was just like, this game's really good, so at this price,
it is.
It's worth it for me to buy it for you to play it at some point in time, and I did. So
nice. I like it. Yeah. Well, it hits the sales. If you like, definitely pick it up on sale. Keep an eye out. You might even get it for free. It's worth playing. Yeah, with that, dude, let's take a break. Here are my unsanctioned sponsor.
When are we booted?
We're not, dude. I'm on a free trial of Zencaster.
Fuck yeah. All right, dude. So I already teased it once. I'm not going to rope-a-dope DK surprise ending you.
Oh, shit. That's what I want to talk about. But no, we didn't talk about this. We did not talk about it.
We teased it just
We're gonna
uh,
talk about it, and then we moved on. But
I
who
hate
cares?
when
We
games
won't.
do that, dude. I hate when games do that because I'm so excited to be done
That
with the
shit was
game.
weird. That was whack, dude. That was
Dude, did
whack.
you ever
I
play
was like,
the
what?
video game adaptation of The Hobbit on PlayStation 2? Because I did,
Fuck no.
and I got way
I think we
further.
have it. Did you buy it?
Dude, I think you bought it or I bought it at like a GameStop on the
We do
cheapies or
have it.
something. But I got quite far to like, I think I bested Smog, and then there
Oh.
was busy work to do, and I was like, no, video game, this is the end of the road. Like, I did the thing I set out to do. Like, you give me a cool cutscene and I'm done. So I protested it and I never played, and it bothers me. So I hate when games do this.
Yeah.
This
Well,
game
there's a
did it.
little treat for everybody that's getting the Kanye version of this.
Keep it all in, regardless, dude.
No, I'm cutting
Because
it.
it's no, dude.
It won't flow.
Dude. It was so obvious that like whatever. Okay,
Dude, it's a big. That's a spoiler.
it's
But
not a spoiler, dude. It's so
dude, it's a
like
spoiler. It's a
I
false
so
ending.
saw that coming, dude. Come on, you didn't. You didn't.
It's
Come
a
on,
false
dude.
ending, dude.
Ugh. Anyway, um, Philly cheesesteaks, dude. And I'm gonna get
Mm.
extra weird on you,
Oh,
which is that sometimes, dude, you
wait,
don't
wait,
have to
wait.
be all fucking
So this pod is unofficially brought to you in part by.
Philly cheesesteaks with your boys, or even just general appreciation for chopped up meat. Um, because
Right
I
on.
have some mild sacrilege to admit.
Ooh,
Sometimes, you know what I like getting from my local neighborhood cheesesteak place?
just the whiz.
Dude, so if I'm getting beef, I'm getting cheese whiz on it.
Yeah,
And
duh.
sometimes I get fried eggs and bacon on it. Like I've had some like cuz you know what they need more of is calories and, protein. That's what they need more of. So I get fried egg and bacon on them sometimes. But you know what I get even more, which is the more in the sacrilege territory that I don't even care about? I get chicken, dog. I
Oh
get a I
wow.
get a South Jersey Philly,
Hmm.
which is the South Jersey is it's like mayo, tomato, lettuce, and vinegar. And I
Hmm.
get peppadew on that bitch, dude, and then I get chicken
What the
because
fuck is Peppa do?
dude, peppadew is just probably said it wrong. Don't care, but I'm pretty sure it's like pickled Italian veggie type shit. Sweet ones.
Word.
Almost positive. Tonos, if there are franchises around here, they do a mean job. I appreciate them, and sometimes that chicken, you still get like I'm a fat little slut eating this big old sandwich, and when you're eating it, you know you're gonna hate yourself afterwards. But afterwards, instead of 8 out of 10 on the regret scale of meat sweats, you're at like a 4 to maybe even a 3.5. And if you got a stomach of steel, God bless you. But sometimes you're like, hey, I'm going to save myself a little bit by having a chicken Philly. So sacrilege be damned, dude. I'll go OG, cheese whiz, and beef, but like chicken, mayo, vinaigrette, get at me, dog.
Dude, I fuck with the cheesesteak, but like I said, man, I think one, I just don't feel good afterwards, and two, it just doesn't like hit me with that taste that I thought I was gonna. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just chasing the dragon.
Al and I, when I was 18, you were like 28. We
Dude,
used
I'm
to.
8 years older than you.
You're 6 years older than me. Jesus Christ, dude.
Gee, well, there you go. You
I was
aged the shit
trolling
out
you.
of me.
I like how I said you were 10 years older than me, and you're like, hey, I'm only 8 years older than me. I'm like, dog, you're actually 6 years. You're fucking stupid. We used to go to Poppy's on the
Yeah,
east
that's a good
side.
time. That's when Philly tasted
And they were
good.
so greasy. It was like an
You know what it
absolute.
was, dude? I don't think
Absolute.
I'm high enough when I eat my Philly cheesesteaks these days.
That might be the issue you're having. Um,
I
but
need to smoke more weed before my
you,
Philly cheesesteaks.
or I had some whiskey beforehand. I was like, beer would weigh me down before this little gauntlet.
Dude,
There.
I just want to give you your fucking flowers to the fact that your girl's out of town. Your wifey's out of town right now, and you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a fucking Philly cheesesteak delivered to my house.
Yeah, served on a bed of truffle fries, dog. So like,
Oh, the
get at your
truffle
boy,
fries,
dude.
truffle
The
fries,
truffle
dude.
fries,
Oh,
dude.
that's
Toast
fancy.
slaps, dude.
What do you dip
Yeah,
them
dude.
in? Do you just go raw on those?
There's like a garlicky mayo aioli kind of deal bop.
Dude, if it's aioli, it got mayo in it.
I know, but I just panicked. But it's some garlicky aioli ish thingy. If you go to their store, they actually have like
Oh,
4 or 5
good.
sauces in a little mini fridge set off to the side. So like
That's dope.
they're playing at my heart in a variety of different ways. I love me a cheesesteak, and I agree with you. So if you find a neighborhood spot, maybe try the chicken. Maybe they'll
Maybe, I don't know,
change.
something about
You just don't
shaved
have
beef
that
though. I just
same.
like the idea.
Yeah, and I'm Phillies over chopped cheese too. Like
Ooh,
I can't get the chopped cheese because once I found out it's just a cheeseburger that's been chopped up, I was
yeah.
like,
What'd you think,
I don't know. It's just when people get excited about things, sometimes you think that just means
dog?
there's more to it,
So let me
but
tell you about
sometimes
chopped
there's not.
cheese. A chopped cheese,
It's
whatever,
not
dude.
this
It's
unsafe
fun.
sponsored, but
No, no, we
you
ain't
just like
taking
the
it even.
clang. You just like the clang and bang of a chopped cheese. Is that it?
I don't like anything but chopped cheese. I'd rather have a regular cheeseburger, to be honest.
Whoa! Don't like a thing about chopped cheese, dude.
I mean,
Because
I'll
we're
eat them.
Philly boys, dude. Let's
I'll
go,
eat
dude.
them. I'll eat them. But like, here's the deal: if you're like, you get to have a chopped cheese or a Philly, I would. Even though I've been dogging on like ragging on the Phillies a little bit because they make my tummy hurt, I would still go
Yeah.
with the Philly, bro. Even though I'm chasing that dragon and I don't think the Philly got the taste that I wanted to, I would still get the Philly because the chopped cheese, dude. It's just a fucking cheeseburger that wishes it was a Philly.
I would also just like to say that,
Dude, stop
like,
it! Don't hit your microphone. Why you gotta touch
you
that thing?
know, because I'm a little reckless right now, dude. Leave me alone. I'm very bloated right now. I'm a big boy in this chair, because of my Philly. But what was I going to ramble on about before you got in the way of that? Oh yeah, Philly cheesesteaks are like, also be wary of them on a menu. If you're in a neighborhood that feels very safe and posh and like you could have frozen yogurt next door or like a spin class, like do not buy the Philly cheesesteak. You are going to be very upset. Like go with something else on the menu. Like Philly needs to be from a dedicated Philly place, or it needs to be from a place that you trust, like their greasy bona fides. Like it's like a Cuban. Like you never get a Cuban from some like
Dude,
suburban, not good restaurant that you think is gonna nail
there.
it, because they're not. There's so many
No,
small things that need to go into it being done right. And yeah,
dude,
that's
your
just like
wife,
a
he
public
posted a picture
service.
of a Cuban yesterday.
Yeah, I told her she was a hoe for that because I was like in the middle of work and I got
You
that
see that
sent to me
picture?
and I was like, tight, dude.
Oh,
She, yeah.
dog, that looked like I didn't even get to taste that. I didn't even like no even know. I just saw that Cuban the way it looked in the picture. I was like, that dope
I
Cuban. I
was
wish I would have had that.
She's in Miami for work, which is a phrase that sounds cool, and I don't get to say things like that. So I was bitter as fuck when she sent that to me. I was like, "That's tight, real cool, home move." Still obviously appreciated it, but I'm
Dude,
just
I
a
saw
bitter,
her.
just
I
a
saw it
bitter
on her
little bitch.
Instagram, and I was like, "Dude, that Cuban." She put it in like a little collage picture or whatever. But I like hit her up. I was like, "Yo, that Cuban though, that
I was
looks
like,
fire."
could you slide that Cuban into my DMs, though?
Dude, I hit her. I was like, "Cuban looked fire." She was like, "It was though. It was."
There we go. There we go. But yeah, man, Philly cheesesteaks. I have a long brotherly relationship with them. And I think what you need is me by your side, and we
I think it probably helped, dude.
need to go
Probably a
back to
fat
mom and dad's
J.
house and take a big
My
nap.
youth. Probably need my youth. A
Yeah,
blunt. My brother.
and we'll collaborate with our other unsanctioned sponsor, the bidet, a necessary companion to the Philly cheesesteak.
I work for myself. Luca teacher. He never had the blunt. Those blunts are for me.
Those blunts are all for Al, but the bidet is for everyone. I
The
mean,
bidet is for
it's
everyone.
a
Get that
companion
bidet.
piece. All right, dude.
Well,
Well,
right
that's
on.
Philly cheesesteaks. Now, welcome back, everyone, to some side
Yeah.
questing. We are a little slow from eating Philly cheesesteaks. I'm a little weird for having it be chicken, but if someone wants to argue with me, I'll tell them that they're right and that I don't care. What's up?
Dude. Between your chicken Phillies and your fucking McRibs, man, I don't even know.
Dude, don't start with the McRib. Someone's like, you want me to send you a video on how they're made? I'm like, please, where are we going to start and stop with being picky about mechanically separated meat? Why is McRib get the ire?
I love it. You been side question, bro?
Dude, no, just because my life is just NCAA football. So what's the point of calling it a side quest? Dog, you have to call me Coach Dukes on this pod now.
Coach Dukes.
You
What
want to
up,
hear
Coach
something
Dukes?
dorky? Is that I made a new coach. So I explained how addicted I was last time we potted, and then I aired out my grievances about how like the coaching portal stuff was kind of broken. They have
Dude.
quietly patched that.
Oh, okay.
So I started a new dynasty pretty much right after that. And I named my coach Coach Dukes the second.
Nice.
And I'm just very proud of that. I just needed to say that out loud one time because I see it and I go, ha, that's cool. And no one else. I told Trisha and she was like, thanks for sharing that. And I was like, yeah, sorry.
She doesn't know about Luke Dukes.
She does. Oh, she's very aware of Luke Dukes.
Word.
Yeah. So I'm the coach at LSU now, and that's really cool. That's like one of my top 3 coolest jobs in college jobs. So there you go. Really pumped about that. Building the program.
I had to pull up the stats, man. So like when we did the college football, you're like, you said the same thing. You're like, do not say that aloud, my hours. So I was like, I won't say your hours aloud, but I'll type them into our Discord. Plug for the Discord. Go join that shit in the show notes, or head to the website, find a link there.
Are you doing it now?
No, I'm not going to look up your current hours. Mind you, everybody, Luke's had another month to play college football, but at the time of last month, after like having I don't know, fucking 3 days to play the game,
sir, it was longer.
He had played
3 days.
Luke had only 3 days to play the game, and somehow he had 4 days, 8 hours, and 55 minutes logged in to this game. God, which is true. Wild to me. That's more
gathered time. A few days after recording. He's lying.
Dude, that's more time than I put in to 2K the entire year. And that's the game I probably played the most. You are a coach, Dukes. You're Coach Dukes.
I'm a full sweat.
And I'm sure you're 8 days now. You're probably 8 days.
I'm at 7.
7 days, bro. 7 days. Dude, do you know how many hours that is?
It's like 120 to 40 or 50 something. Yeah.
There's 168 hours.
Yeah.
Dude. That's wild. That's wild to me. Good for you. Coach Dukes.
Yeah. And you know what? I've slowed down since returning to work because the school year's back.
Yeah.
And when I get home,
hey man, you ain't gonna be the coach at LSU without putting in that time.
Dude, I know. The recruits are like, hey, are you really dedicated? This coach over here is staying up all night. And I was like, I'm trying. No, I'm like not as good as I was, which is mildly frustrating, but it's okay because I was cooking a little too hard. The game's sick, dude. They're still fixing stuff. It's still flawed, but like it's 85 to 90% of what I wanted from this game. So
nice. Yeah, we were talking about it. We were talking about it the other day in person, and I was saying like, dude, I'm happy because I haven't played. I played very little after we cut our our podcast on it because I just like started playing 2K again.
Yeah,
but I like it, dude. I think it's dope, and it's like it's encouraging to hear that they're fixing things. And honestly, like me not playing any Madden over the past few years, like I'm very happy to have this football game in my collection. Like, and to be able to play.
It's got me tuned into. I don't necessarily watch more than like a quarter, but I've watched like a few quarters to maybe one game's worth of college football every week. And I certainly kind of check scores and have a general following. I'm not a diehard, but like today, I was, when the boys were napping, I watched a little bit, but that just made me want to play the game. So it doesn't got me watching all the time, but it's more football, and I think that's dope.
Oh, there you go.
And I think that's the only other game I've played. So just football's all the way back, which is dope. Love that. That's the Sunday. And with children, screen time doesn't count if it's football, dog. That's just indoctrination time.
Sure.
So if your significant other out there doesn't like your children watching football, it doesn't count for your regular screen time hours. There's a difference between Bluey or your Disney stuff or your YouTube stuff and football. Football is almost like religion stuff, so they're allowed to watch.
Dude, now that they've cut all these new deals and everything, like I'm going to be able to watch a lot more Timberwolves over the Timberwolves season, which is going to be exciting because I have some of the streaming platforms that they'll be landing on. I think like 25-ish games, 28-ish games or something that we'll be able to watch on.
That's good.
Via Amazon and via like, I don't know, Hulu or some bullshit. I don't remember.
I'm excited for sports to come to Amazon simply because I just have Amazon whether I want it or not. So
fair enough.
Around, so might as well have sports on it. So fuck yeah, dude.
Major side quest, major life quest, NCAA football.
Mm-hmm. Coach,
right on, dude.
Do you have one? Do you game even? You gonna
to
tell me
my
about a
game,
book you're
yeah.
reading or something fucking lame like that? I did that like a week ago, so
Nah,
it's okay.
nah. Books are tight, dude. Whatever.
I'm reading another one. I
I
was gonna go
still.
into that, but you know,
So I've been. I don't want to hear about your books. No, what book you
yeah.
reading?
Nah, you go. We can
All
catch
right.
up
Well,
to
good for
book corner
you
later.
reading
Yeah.
books. I continue to read comics, dude. I've been so I was like
Nice.
doing a whole bunch of the X-Men stuff a while back. I'm all in on the Star Wars like ecosystem now, or whatever you want to call it. Like there's like a few different runs that are kind of all, you know how comic books work, dude. They all like crossovers shit. So
The
it's
multiverse, brother.
well, not multiverse, but like, yeah, the crossover type stuff. So basically, you've got your Star Wars run, you've got your Bounty Hunter run, you got your Dr. Aphra, you've got your Darth Vader. I think those are like the four major ones that are kind of intertwined in this new in
Are
the
you
news.
buying these or is it the subscription?
Nah, dude, it's the Marvel Ultimate or whatever, dude. It's that I pay for the year. I got it around this time in November for Black Friday, dude. And I want to say that like 50% off. I want to say it was like $40 or something. Well worth the fucking money, in my opinion.
That's cool.
Yeah, so keep your eye out if you guys are interested in comics. Like honestly, like I know that there's other like services to read comic books. Like I think I can't remember the app right now because it's not available in Minneapolis. But there's some cool apps out there where you can get comic books for free and stuff. But I'd like, anyways, the Marvel Unlimited has been great, and it's like got me tempted to. I'm going to see what's up this fall and this Black Friday season when that comes around or whatever, to see if DC does something similar, because I would love to read like some Batman stuff.
Spread your wings.
Yes, but the Star Wars shit's
Have you ever
been
heard of
great,
East to
dude.
West?
No, I don't think so.
I bought the first 3 in the graphic novel run. It's supposed to be crazy good, so I will pass those along to you once
Right
I
on.
finally get
Dope.
done with my public library book that I got to return, and then I'm gonna get to those next.
Right on. But yeah, so I've been reading those. That's been a major side quest of mine. And then like the video game thing that I bring up, dude, is so I got the COVID again. Again, being like back in like me and the wife, we caught it back in 2020-ish or whatever, when it was new and everybody was
Trump
getting
rally.
it. And then but we fucking, the whole family came down with it about 3-ish weeks ago now. Oh shit, that's
rally.
just garbage. Yeah, right. But dude, it was just terrible, man. Like it's like it hit me worse this time than it did my first time. First time I was like sick for a day or two. This one like got me for a solid week, dude. I was miserable. Laying in bed a lot harder now that we got a baby. And it's like, I just like, not only is it suck to be sick, it feel bad like not pulling your weight as far as like taking care of your children, that type of thing. But anyways, laying in bed, you can only do so much. So I had my Steamy D, and I have I've got that. So I have Starfield, and I was like, I'm just gonna like jump into Starfield, and I poured probably I don't even know the real hours, but like, dude, like I poured a bunch of time into the fucking
minutes.
Get out of here. So I poured a bunch of time into Starfield, man, and it was great. Like I picked up my old file, just started like just moving around in that universe, dude. Like playing around, doing stupid side quests, like pushing the main story through. I still haven't gotten to the end game in that, but I feel like I'm pretty close, because like I'm what they're talking about and stuff going on. But that was like I just like, even though we had like had control on the docket, and that's a shooty bang bang, like there's just something about a first person that I was like kind of digging.
It's a way chiller vibe.
Yeah, totally. And then there's that too.
Control
and like
can be a tense game.
So very tense game. So you have to be in the mood for it. And that's what I needed, man. Like, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been sick. And then also like, it can be tricky when you're sick to play video games or do anything, because like, depending on how that experience goes, can really sour, at least for me. Like I remember in my youth, there's a couple times playing like, was that the NBA on NBC, which is like a basketball game. There's a lot like NBA Jam for the N64. And I pushed through it because I really loved that game when I was a kid. But there was a solid like couple months. So I played it when I had a fever or whatever. And like whenever I played it, would make me feel like physically ill because I associated it with that time that I was sick.
Sure.
So I guess maybe that might happen to me the next time I load up Starfield. but for me, it was a nice escape, dude. It was like great to be able to go into there and like just go around the universe. And like, I know that game is like very mixed reviews, but I dig it, man. Like, I'm glad to know that like it's gonna be there for whenever I just want to jump back in and fly around on my fucking spaceship.
Yeah, I had it on Game Pass, so maybe someday I'll
Yeah,
buy it up because I kind of liked some of the stuff I was up to, and they continue to add to it. So
yeah. Dude,
maybe
unlike Control, I remember I forget what they call it, but there's like this they added that modding thing to it where like you can do your mods or whatever even on the on your systems, on your consoles. But if you turn them on, it takes away it doesn't allow you to get trophies. Whereas Control, you can still get your Chivos even with the stuff on, which I was like, that's sweet because I was pissed. I was like, fine, I'll fucking play pure Starfield, which is vanilla Starfield kind of whack, but not super whack because like I obviously play it. But
I'm
there are
shocked
certain
that
things.
Starfield achievements was like a.
I don't know, dude. It's like a lizard. It's like a lizard brain thing. I'm not even a Chivo hunter. I was just like, I don't even know why that is. But there's something about it that I was like, fine, I won't like make it so I turn off like the weight capacity or whatever. Which is like that's like one of the worst things in that game is a
I
stupid
won't
weight
fix
capacity.
your interface, stupid game. Bad interface.
Right. But dude, it was there's a couple missions like I did some like a handful of side missions. I really leaned into my like space scoundrel like setup for the dude and like just tried doing some weird stuff. But there's certain things that still bug me about that game. Like for example, if you are rolling with one of your companions or whatever, especially if it's someone that you're trying to romance, and then you get attacked in space, and then you take out that spaceship for attacking you, they get really mad at you, and they get all pissed off for killing innocents. I'm like, dude, they weren't innocent. They attacked me. Why you gotta like? Come on! I thought we had a thing going. I thought we were gonna get married. They're like, no. Like whatever. So so fuck that shit. But
Yeah. I was in the middle of like a really cool mission, but I was also mad, like, because I got picked up for having some illegals on my ship that I didn't even know that were on my ship because the inventory system's so garbage in the
oh
game.
sure, yep.
But then the Space Marines wanted me to be a double agent with the fucking space pirate dudes, and I was having a good time going back and forth between them. But I was trying to do some side missions where I was just delivering organs.
Oh sure,
Just typical black market shit, just a shipload
yeah.
of space organs.
Yeah.
And all of like the skills and abilities you need are like super advanced just to have like hidden cargoes. And I'm like, how am I supposed to be like space pirate stuff? Like the game tries to do a trillion things and does most of them clunkily, but does a decent job on a lot of them. So it's it's like the most 7 out of 10 game, 6.5 out of 10 game I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm glad to own it. I'm glad to own it. I know it's not like it's not top tier, but I'm glad to have it in the collection.
Hey man, 7 out of 10 is still like more than playable.
That's true.
Six
That's
and a
true.
half out of 10 is still more than decent. So it's not
What
like,
are you putting on a scale of 5 though? Dude,
dude, that's why I hate when you hit me with the fives. I'm always like, no,
it's low 5 gaming, dude. I gotta have some
yeah,
themes.
it's brand synergy, dude. Then it would have to be a 3 to 3.5.
Ah, there you go. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to put Control too.
Look at me dividing by 2, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's been a big one, dude. It's not a side quest, but I want to pour one out for Game Informer, man. That happened.
Just learned they're Minneapolis based when they closed. That makes me extra sad.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know that, but yeah, I've known a couple folks that have worked for them over the years.
Game Informer lifetime was when I was a teen to preteen,
Fair.
so I wasn't paying attention to any of that shit. But
yeah, I subscribed on and off. I'm not super surprised because like they had this like super awesome deal to get the physical subscription for like $20 for the year, and I was like, this sounds like you guys might close soon, and that's what happened. Yeah. But I did get the subscription. Do the wild thing too is so like GameSpot or GameStop is like they're the owning company of Game Informer. So they sent out an email and they're like, hey, like we I don't remember the fucking email said. Basically, it was like if you want a reimbursement, email us. And it's like, dude, yeah, you like granted it was only $20 for the year. But I want my like $10 back because you fucking axed this whole team, and
dude,
like I'm pissed off.
They didn't even keep their archives up.
Dude, they pulled that shit where they blew up the archives. Yeah, they like just blew up the like. I don't understand that at all. They just like they destroyed the website. That hopefully, like I think that I haven't been following it close enough. I'm hoping that someone has that like archive somewhere. But yeah, dude, GameStop like took
At
down
the
the
very
whole
least, they're
website and
not
everything.
publicly accessible archives, which is just
Correct.
kind of like, well, that's whack. But yeah,
It's like, why? Why would you do that? But whatever. It's not that it does not that
print
expensive
media,
to
dude.
keep. Yeah. But to take down the digital too, though, dude, like it's not that expensive to have your servers like keep that live. Like it costs probably, honestly, it probably costs GameStop $300 a year to keep that website live. Like not to do all the salaries and stuff, but the actual website to be up. Like it's like, come on, guys, did you really have to take that down? No, they did not.
The most millennial English major rant of all time. I just want you to know that.
Hey, man, physical media for the win.
It's very
And RIP, like a lot of cool folks work there, and it sucks that they all lost their job. So, fuck you, GameStop.
GameStop, then also the monoculture. I mean, there's still some good gaming websites, but they seem to be consolidating.
Indeed.
Which is a bummer.
Well, right on. Dude, I'm glad to have played Control. Always a good time chatting, bro. But we should bring this one to a close.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say that, you know, you exposed that my wife wasn't at home with me, so I'm glad I'm not playing Control tonight, because last night it was spooky trying to sleep, dude. A lot of paranormals going on here, dude. A lot of checking my sex, dude. I was like, what's going on? Who? Dylan, the tub. Why? Where am I?
A copy of a copy.
What are you trying to tell me? It's a wormhole to the dimension. Yeah,
indeed. Glad to have played this one. What are we playing next? Have you locked that down yet?
Yeah, I'm whoop-diddy scooping you, dude.
Oh, wow. What are we doing?
Two things. A compelling love letter was written to me. It was spoken aloud to me, composed, delivered from Tyler, saying he wants to co-play Zelda. And we're a Zelda pod in our heart, so we kind of have to be on top of the Zeldas. So that comes out in like 2-3 days, right?
That sounds about right. The new one.
So we're gonna play the new Zelda, first playable Zelda, in like their own mainline.
Is that part of the? Is that part of the gaming mechanics too? Can you play 2 players in that or some shit?
No, just playing it at the same time, being in the zeitgeist.
Oh,
I was like, whoa, that'd be cool.
Yeah, well, it's time to get his ass into chat so we can hear about his experience.
He will. Cool. He's been officially bullied, so he knows.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
Cool, man.
Echoes of Wisdom.
And if you're listening to this, thanks for bearing with the, we didn't even have that many burps. Maybe I don't need to edit this one. We'll see.
Well, I had some noises and I did my best, okay? I did my best.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. I will give this one an edit because it's always fun to sneak in some sound effects and some little tunes from Control and whatnot.
Get your rock of Asgard in there. I know you love it so much.
That's true. That
scene was sick, though, to be respectful.
That was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, hit up the website, low5gaming.com. There's an invite to our Discord there. You can buy some t-shirts if you want. You can check out a couple of articles that both Luke and I have written. Luke's got a really cool, what do you want to call it, dissertations and cool shit about gaming and education in there that's worth checking out if that's something that interests you. But yeah, join us in the Discord. Share this shit out. Tell your friends. You should holler. You can holler at MW in our Discord. Recently joined. I'm gonna holler at MW. What up, dude? Thanks for joining the Discord. Pretty cool, man. He found us because he's looking for the Disco Elysium pod, or a pod on Disco Elysium. Found us, and then I'm pretty sure he just downloaded our whole backlog and has been listening to us. So that's rad, man. I don't know if you're gonna get it this far in this episode, but if you do, you're a cool person, and you're also where do you say he was from? Ireland, which is also cool. That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
Dublin.
Quarter Irish.
He's from Dublin.
Probably heard that now. So
yeah, we're like family, bro. Yeah, dude, MW. I love it, man. Cool. All right, y'all. All right, bro. Much love. Peace.
Pew pew pew.